So we have added this beautiful sliding notification feature using a third-party framework and wrapped it up in an Angular service in our previous video. Now it's time to add login functionality to our application. We already have added this user login component in our previous videos. In this tutorial, let's add the required HTML to create the UI. I have added this form template to our application so that we can just copy this boilerplate code and paste it in any component and make the required changes. It will save some time in development. Let's change the caption of this form to login and add name and password control to this form. So our login form is ready. Let's integrate it with Angular. I'm going to use a template driven form for this one. If you are not aware of template driven form and how to enable it in your application yet, I recommend you to watch this video by clicking this I link. If you already have watched the video on template driven form, you must be aware that we can define a template variable with hash, give it a name and assign ng form to it. This variable we are going to pass in our submit function. We can use ng submit event that will be fired when someone clicks this submit button on our form. Call on login function in our component and pass this login form variable here so that we can access the value of our form using this template variable. As both of these fields are required on this form, we have added required attribute here. Add ng model to bind this control to our Angular form and give it a name, username. Do the same for our password field as well. And let's disable this submit button if our form is not valid using property binding. That's it at HTML level. Let's come to the component level and add this on login function. As we are passing ng form as parameter in our HTML template, we have to add an input parameter of type ng form here as well and just print the value of login form in the console to test if it is correctly integrated or not. So our login button is disabled as there is no value in required fields, and as soon as we provide some value in name and password, it's enabled, and on submitting this form we are getting value in console. I'm not going to display invalid error messages for each control for this form, and we will display just a generic message using Alertify in this component later in this video. And our global CSS is also working perfectly to add a red color if the value of name and password are not provided. Next, we need a way to authenticate a user. We will add an authentication service that should contain the method to authenticate the user and various other methods related to the authentication. We are not going to add too many methods at this level in this service, but in the later stage when we will work on API part, more function will be added in this service. Add a new service and name it auth. Add a function here to authenticate the user. Let's name it auth user. It should accept a parameter user to pass the user info in this function. As we have user in an array in our local storage, let's add a variable user array and assign a blank array to it and check if user exists in our local storage using local storage.getItem and pass the name of key we have used to store the data here as parameter. If it contains value, we can assign it to this user array. As our data is in JSON format, we will have to use json.parse to access the value, otherwise it will not work properly. Now we can use the find method on this array to find the specific record in an array. This method iterates through the array and can check the value of key like this using an arrow function and get the array element as parameter in this function. You can name this parameter whatever you would like. Now we can check if the username and password of each element in this array is matching with the username and password of the user we are passing here in this function. And if that user exists, it will return filtered record. Otherwise, this function will return undefined. So our service is ready, and to use it in our component, we need to add it in provider list here in app module. Now we can inject our service here in constructor. And let's authenticate our user using this service here in onLogin method. We can pass login form.value here as parameter. Let's assign it to a constant named user and check it here in if statement. So if our service return user, we log a message login successful, else login not successful. Let's test it. Perfect. If we pass the correct name and password, we are getting a success message. And if we pass the wrong password, we are getting a login not successful message. So our service is working perfectly. Here we are just returning a user that is stored in our local storage. But in actual, when we will create an API, our API will return some encrypted key here that will contain a lot of other hidden value we will use to validate the user throughout the session. We will store that key as a token in our local storage to validate the user in subsequent visits. But for now, let's just store the username as token here in our local storage. Let's rename this constant to token instead of user. A shortcut to change all the occurrence of any variable in a method, we can select the name and press F2 and change the name. You can see the name of this variable is replaced in all the places in this function in one go. Let's replace this error with an alertify notification. Inject alertify service here in constructor and just replace this console log with alertify.success. And as this is an error, use alertify.error to display this error notification. So we are getting notification perfectly. Now we need to hide this register and login link if user is logged in, and a logout button should be displayed here in place. Let's go to our navbar component. Add a method in TypeScript file called loggedin and just return a token here from local storage. So in case if the user is logged in, it will contain a value, otherwise it will return undefined. Now we can use this method to display and hide links conditionally using ngIf. Let's add a logout link as well. And using ngIf, we can conditionally display these links. We can check if a user is not logged in. We will display these two links. And if the user is logged in, we will display this logout button. Let's remove this router link. And here on clicking this logout button, call onLogout function. And here just remove the token from local storage onLogout. So now if we click this logout button, our token is deleted from local storage and the user and login links become visible. And on successful login, again the user and login link become invisible and this logout button become visible. Also on successful login, this login box should disappear and user should be redirected to the home page. Let's go to user login component and inject router in constructor. And using router.navigate, redirect our user to the base URL. Perfect. So our login logout functionality is working correctly. Next, add a drop-down link in place of this logout button to display more options a user can perform on his account. As we are using Bootstrap, it provides a drop-down component that we can use in our application. But we need to install jQuery to use it properly. And it is not deemed to be a good practice to use jQuery in an Angular project. In case you need to use any of such Bootstrap component where jQuery installation is needed, there is a good library called NGX Bootstrap available that contains most of Bootstrap component compatible for Angular, and you do not need to install jQuery to use these components. And it uses existing Bootstrap markup to work with different versions of Bootstrap. In order to use these components, you need to install this library using this npm command, and make sure you are in Angular application folder and run this command. It's installed. Now we can use these drop downs in our application. You can run this ng add command to add the support of specific component, but let's follow the manual approach so that you should be aware of where you need to look whenever a problem occurs in your application. We need to add this browser animation module in the import array of app module. Add this BS dropdown module as well here. It is not identified in auto import, so we need to import this library manually here at the top of this file. Now the error is gone. Now we can use dropdown in navigation bar. There are a lot of different type of dropdown available. We are going to use this link type dropdown. This documentation is quite good. By clicking the template, you can get a sample code you need to use in HTML template. And here is the code you need to use at component level. We can copy this code and make the required changes. But I already have written my code. Let me paste it here and I will explain it. So these are the directives provided by dropdown component. Here at the top we have added a link and used this directive named dropdown toggle to make this link toggling. Here we are binding click event and passing false to disable the default behavior of clicking the link button. Here we need to add star before this directive, as it is a structural directive and responsible to hide and display this div on toggle. These are the classes we are using to display icons before each menu here. We are doing it using Font Awesome icon library. If you are not aware of using Font Awesome, I have provided a link in description for you to explore it. Here on clicking this logout button, we are just removing token from the local storage. Let's also display the name of the user as well after this welcome message. Add a variable named logged in user of type string. And here, instead of directly returning a user here in function, let's assign it to logged in user variable and return it here in this function. Let's try to log in. Perfect, we are getting this welcome message here, and on clicking this drop down we can see more options a user can perform. By clicking this logout button, we can log out of the application. Let's add a notification as well if a user is logged out. Inject alertify service here in constructor, and here on logout just display a message, you are logged out. Perfect. Our login logout functionality is completed. Next, we will complete this property addition form. We will add a property card component right here so that user can see the live preview of their property, that how it will look on listing page. This is the biggest form of our application. So we are going to split this form into multiple tabs so that user can add info in parts. And once all the info is filled, they can review the form by clicking these tabs. And on submission of this form, a new listing will be added here on listing page. So see you in next video. Stay tuned.